Café and Networking Podcast promotes entrepreneurs, startups, authors, business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, an American known as the King of Networking, connecting people and speaking from my studio in Vinhedo, São Paulo, Brazil. And today we talk with John Morley, joining us from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey in the United States. John C. Morley is founder and CEO of the JMOR Connection, a serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, talk show host, president of the local Chamber of Commerce, and is also a professional keynote speaker. John, what makes you unique in the motivation and keynote space?
Well, first, good morning, and thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on your show. What makes me unique, and I get people asking me this all the time, I have to tell you, it's my passion, it's my drive. But I think the most important thing is that a lot of people say this, but they don't do it. My main reason for living every day is to become a better version of myself and help everyone else become a better version of themselves. And I do that through lots of the video I produce. I have a daily show, Inspirations for Your Life, every evening. I have a talk show, but everything I do is about helping people, whether it's about security, whether it's about technology, whether it's about learning how to anchor yourself. Because we were talking about this before, when we're somewhere today and then we get somewhere in the future, why do we get off track? It's really simple. It's because of things that are in our way. Not our fault, not anybody else's fault. It's just the way the world is.
Right.
So we need to be able to anchor ourselves so we can stay in that positive state every single day.
That seems to be tougher to do every day.
It is. That's why techniques are important, like anchoring.
Right.
And that's a simple technique that anybody can do. It's just a matter of basically holding the thought that they want. Really, you have to feel it. You have to believe it. Like I say, believe and achieve. And you have to connect your mind and your heart together. See, a lot of people think about it up here for years and they never achieve it. Like, why can't I get it? Why can't I get it? Okay, your heart's got to be on board. You see, the manifestation language of the universe is not thoughts alone. It's feeling. So you feel it first, you manifest it second. And when you can come on board with that and you can think about it really strongly, that's how I manifested my first luxury car when I got out of college. I went to drive it, came home, took pictures, put it on my iPhone, my computer, and I started that proverbial car every single night. And I felt it, how it purred, where I was going. And I felt it. And then 6 months later, that car was in my driveway. So if you do that and you take your right hand, your dominant hand, and you pinch your left hand, your non-dominant hand, and just do that while you're thinking about that thought as strongly as you can for a few moments. And imagine right now that you have everything you want and things are different and you're thinking the way you would be as if you had that car, that money, because you have to believe it first and it has to happen on the inside. Then it happens on the outside. When you feel that you cannot believe how much you've achieved from just feeling that and your body going to explode, let go.
Right.
Take a deep breath, come back and touch it. You'll notice that connection causes you to get right back in the state. You'll need to do it maybe 10 or 20 times, but then do it every couple hours, and it will condition your body to get your RAS, your reticular activating system, to keep looking for those opportunities to say, hey, yes, I'm successful. I have to show you you're successful. When people say I'm not successful or I'm a failure or I'm a this, it's because they're believing the universe is okay. You want this, you want more debt, you want that. Great, I'll show it to you.
Right.
So if you want to show success and abundance, then yes, the universe is going to show you those opportunities. They don't magically happen. You have to then take inspired action for them to become a reality in your life.
Well, people say if you don't fail, you don't succeed.
That's true.
And if you don't feel it in your heart, you just think about it, I guess you don't get there either.
Exactly. When you fail, you have to realize one thing. You've never quit, okay? You haven't really failed unless you quit. So if you just didn't get something right, you didn't fail. You're still learning.
Right.
And when you actually get it right, then you've succeeded. If you said, I want to build a house and I can't do this, and you stop, you quit, then you fail.
Right.
Because you remember Einstein, Einstein did this, and also the gentleman who invented our electric light bulb, Thomas Edison.
Right.
He didn't find one way it worked. He found 999 ways that it did not work.
And that's what we need to do.
Exactly.
When I had another guest once, he mentioned that failing, he actually called that tuition.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
And
that's it, because life is a learning experience, and we obviously we want to succeed, but it's those blocks that you said are out there. If we remove them or make something else out of them, and that can create emotion, and then we can reach success.
Exactly. And the problem is, people say to me, John, well, I didn't want this in my life. I get it. So how did it get here? In a real nutshell, your parents, your friends, when you were born, they started putting these engrams in your head. And your mind became like a computer and starts running these programs over and over and over again. And that's why you need to get them out, because 95% of your life, if you don't like it, it's because of programs that are in there that you didn't put there.
Right.
And you're running them.
We have to reboot and upload something else.
You got to reboot. You got to reformat, and you've got to be conscious of the food not only you put in your body, but the mental food that you put into your head.
Right. Well, here in Brazil, we have a fruit that I like. It's called passion fruit.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, see, so that is something fantastic. It's energizing. It's a delicious fruit. So if you can get passion and fruit together, then you got something going.
Yeah, I did a thing last night. It was called What Would You Like in Your Box of Chocolates? And we all know a box of chocolates and Forrest Gump, right? So I said, you know what people do? They stereotype the chocolate. We had one bad chocolate. Ugh, I don't want another one like that. So you stereotype saying all chocolates are bad. But no.
And so we tend to look for what we like. And we forget there's just so much out there we haven't even experimented.
Exactly. Whether it's new food, whether it's experiences, whether it's relationships, we have to be open to the possibilities and the fact that it may not come in the way we want it to be. We have to be open to the time, and we have to be open to how it's delivered to us. We can't say, well, I have to get it this way. It has to happen between 9 and 11, or I don't want it.
Right.
We've got to be open to possibilities.
And that's the way it is when you step on stage.
Absolutely.
So you open your heart, you open your mind, and then you open your mouth.
Yeah, and then I just feel and believe, and I achieve. And sometimes I get on stage, and I was like, I was on stage for an hour? It only seemed like 2 minutes. I just get so into it. People are like, wow. And that's when you know you get good content. And I'll tell you this. People say to me, John, how do I learn something if I can't? So what do you mean? Well, how do you learn something? Let's say, for example, you were going to build a house. Now, I've built houses before because my parents had a company that we started to build a few, and then we folded it just for our own family. But when you build homes, you have to know what you're doing. Same thing in your mind. If you want to learn, let's say, to be, I don't know, a chemist, but you know nothing about chemistry. Well, what do you know that's like chemistry? Well, have you ever mixed paint before? Yeah, I've mixed paint before. Great. Let's talk about how you mix paint. Let's associate what you already know, and then that has a foundation to stick more things of what you want to learn from that. And then that builds upon. A lot of people say, oh, gee, well, I don't know how to do paint. Well, let me just learn it. Well, what are you going to stick it to? Well, you can't stick a piece of paper to a wall without some kind of adhesive, right? So we need something to be able to take the gap to where it's going to be. And that is the magic. We all can learn. We just have to find out where's the commonality that we can start that learning process from.
Take the first step, right, John?
Absolutely, Tom.
Okay, John. I want to thank you for sharing your time and your experience with us, and hope to be talking to you again in the future.
It was a pleasure to be with you today.
Our pleasure. And to remind our audience, you can find more information about John C. Morley, and it's John, the letter C. The last name is Morley. You can find him on LinkedIn or his site, www.believemeachieve.com. BelieveMeAchieve, one word.com. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information on their website, focusmi.com. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.